Good morning. Good morning. Nobody's talking to me this morning. Good morning, guys.
Morning.
There we go. I have some live souls out there. That's nice. If you guys can turn on your video, that would be great. Morning. Please turn on your video. Hi, guys. All right. I'm going to get started on time this morning. Thank you for being on time. I have some announcements first, and then we'll continue here. First of all, yesterday I had about 20 people turn in their attendance late, and it caused me an hour's worth of work because I had to go through and read all the messages. Please don't do that. Okay. You have 5 minutes before class starts to do your attendance. Please don't make me have extra emails and extra work. I have enough work as it is. So please just do what I ask and submit your attendance 5 minutes before class. Remember, class ends at 10:45. The attendance shuts down. So you could do it anywhere from 5 minutes before the meeting to class ends. If you do it after 10:45, it's going to be late and I'm going to get an email. All right. And you're going to get a nasty message from me saying, please do your attendance on time. All right. If it persists, I'm going to start marking you absent. So I'm just letting you know. You need to do your attendance on time. The deadline for the attendance is 10:45. Okay, the class meetings, just to clarify, these class meetings are mandatory, just coming to school. So this isn't that you can sleep in until 3 in the afternoon and then watch the recording. That's not what's going on here. You have to attend the class meetings. So they are required. If there's an extenuating circumstance that you have spoken to me about and you're absent, you can't just be absent for no reason. So it can only be an extenuating circumstance and you have to contact me and you have to let me know. You can't just be absent whenever you want. I still have a bunch of students not on Remind. You should be writing this down too, because by the end of the day, you may forget what I'm saying. So if what I'm saying pertains to you, make sure you write it down in your notes. All right, I have a bunch of students that are not on the Remind. You're going to miss messages. You need to email me if you cannot get the Remind app or you're having difficulties get it. I need to know as soon as possible if you cannot get Remind or get on the Remind app. All right, so last but not least, you need to email me as soon as possible if you do not have an HMH book, if you do not have a Chromebook or a working device, if your internet is messed up or you don't have Wi-Fi, because the district is supplying all these things, so you need to be taken care of. And also a TI-83 calculator, which you will need. All right, so if you don't have any of those things, make sure you let me know as soon as possible or if you're having trouble with any of those things. One more thing, this is an honors class. So I know on your schedule it says Algebra 2. Don't ask me why. I can't explain that. You're going to have to ask the principal or the district about that. I have no idea, but I'm just letting you know that all of my my Algebra 2 classes are honors classes. So if I were you, what I would do is make sure that on your transcript, when you get your grades, make sure that it is an honors class. I don't know why it doesn't say that. That is a very good question for the district. Okay. Enough of that. So let's see here. Last week, we talked about this fish, and I asked you to put your name or nickname and color this up and submit this to me so I can get to know you better. There is no deadline or due date for this, but I do want you to do it so when we get back to school, we can put them up on the boards. Last week, we also talked about the syllabus. In particular, we talked about weekly meetings. We talked about daily materials. In fact, I'll just put this up. Let me share my screen with you. So we talked about the materials that are required. We also talked about student expectations, and we talked about teacher expectations. I do want to continue and finish the syllabus today. And the verification letter is at the end of the syllabus. If you're wondering, where's the verification letter? It's at the end of the syllabus. It's actually due on Wednesday at 11:59. So you have two things due, and one is the verification letter of the syllabus. It's due at 11:59 on Wednesday. All right, so let's finish this. I'm not going to go through everything. Here's your textbook. It's the California Algebra 2 HMH Interactive Student Edition. Well, actually, your book is a physical book, but when you're going to have an online account also, which will be interactive. Last week, I talked about assignments, and these are for all assignments. So I talked about having your name, date, period, assignment number, and starting on the inside. We are going to work on an assignment today in groups. So if there's any questions about the assignments, let me know. The assignments must be completed in the format that I specified. And here's the thing. All right, let me stop sharing so you can see my board. All right. You will not be turning in assignments. What you're turning in is assignment percentages. All right, so let me explain this. I have 100 and some students, and I'm not going to be able to go through and look at your work. Okay, I'm going to be looking at your work at other times, like when you take an exam. Miguel, can you turn off your speaker, please? Your microphone? Thanks. So what I'm going to be looking at is your exam work. So when you turn in assignments, you're going to be turning in an assignment percentage only. So let me explain how this is going to work. And you may have already seen it for the first assignment in Google Classroom. So on this first assignment, I'm assigning these two sheets. I'm assigning this dot one and I'm assigning this rules for integers. It's one assignment. So I don't know which one I assigned first, but you need to do the work in order that I assigned it. So let's say I assign the dot one first. The dot one has 30 problems, and the rules for integer has 24 for a total of 54 problems. So the 54 is the total. Now this is going to change. One time I could assign 80 problems. I could assign 100 problems. It just depends on the assignment. So let's say that you attempted 37. Now, I'm not saying what you got right or wrong. Okay, I don't care what you get right or wrong. Okay, what I care about is how many problems did you do? So what you're going to do is grab a calculator And you're going to take 37 divided by 54. And this is about 0.6851. So to change this decimal to a percent, you're going to look at this number. If that number is 5 or greater, it's going to be a 69%, and that's what you're going to submit in Google Classroom, and I'm going to put that on Zangle. All right, so you're submitting assignment percentages. All right, let's do another one.
Ms. Birch?
Yeah.
I have a question. So on top, does it matter how much we get right or no?
No, doesn't matter how much you get right. It's just how many problems you did. So if you attempted all the problems, you're going to say 54 out of 54, which is 100%. So let me explain what's going on. Let's just say that someone just cheats every day. You know, they put 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%. Doesn't that bother me? No, because it's only 20% of your grade. That student is going to fail all my tests. And the tests are 60% of the grade. So in reality, this percentage really is for you to hold yourself accountable. So the percentage is 20% is not that much. So these percentages are for you to make sure you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. Okay, so check this out. Let's say that I assign 98 problems. I don't know why I didn't assign 100. I assigned 98. And let's say you did 65. Now, that is not how many you got right. That's that there were 98 problems and you went to dinner and you blew off the rest of the assignment. Okay. What you're going to do is you're going to take 65 and divide by 98, and you get about 66.32. You're going to look at that point. You're going to look at that number right there. If that number is 5 or greater, you round up. If that number is less than 5, you leave it as 66%, and that's what you would submit in Google Classroom. All right, let me do one more. Let me find a better one here. 57 out of 83. So let's say you attempt 57 out of 83 problems. When you put this in the calculator, you get 0.6867. Okay, now this problem's different because this number is 5 or greater. You would round up to 69%. Now, if you go into the first assignment, which is called Review 1, you are going to see the sheets that I just showed you with the order of operations and the rules for integers. And down below that, you're going to see the assignment percent document. That's where you're going to put the percent and submit it to me so I can record it. Now, if you're wondering, okay, if I'm not looking at the assignments, why do I have an assignment format? You know, why am I wanting you to write the original problem, work vertically and circle your answer? Why am I having you do that if I'm never looking at it? I am looking at it because when I give you an exam, you have to submit your scratch paper like the assignment in Google Classroom. If you do not submit your scratch paper in that order, you will get a 0 on the exam. So you're using the assignments to practice so that when I give you an exam, you don't confuse me. That I see your work for your exam, your proof that you did the exam, that I can see it and grade it. So for example, and these are online exams, right? So let's say you get 90% on an exam, but you don't submit your scratch paper. and you don't submit your scratch paper in a format like that, that I can understand it and see it, you will get a 0. So you have to submit your work so I can see it, so I can grade it, and you have to submit your scratch paper. The assignments are just practice, and these assignment percentages, they're being recorded on Zangle, but they're mostly for you to say, oh, you know, I got a 69%. I better get with it. That's not a high percent. You want to get 100% on everything. So you want to look at Zangle and go, yeah, I'm doing the assignments. I'm legitimately doing them, and I understand what's going on. Okay, anybody have any questions about that? Yeah, this class is being run like a college class. So this isn't elementary school anymore where you're turning in work all the time, and teachers, you are turning in work, you're turning in percentages all the time. I'm trying to hold you accountable, but I'm looking at your exam grades since they're 60% of the grade. The 20% is up to you. All right, let's continue with the syllabus. All right, so let's look at what I wrote here in the syllabus. If you were wondering, is time percentage due on specific days? If a student fails to turn in an assignment percentage by the due date, you will not receive credit for the assignment. So if you don't send me the percentage, you'll get a 0. I mean, you do have to submit it on time, because I will ask for those assignment percentages on certain days, like the one for, well, I think I might give you an extra day. I'm going to get your feedback on this because I assigned it yesterday for period 3, but you guys get less time. So I may make yours due on Thursday, so you have more time. But if you do not turn in the assignments on time, you can't turn in late work. So if you don't turn the assignment percentages, you'll get a 0. You have to turn them in on time. And I think I just decided I'm going to make, you saw it probably due on Wednesday. I'm going to make it due on Thursday at 11:59 p.m. That's review 1. Okay, since there are only 3 virtual classes per week, expect the assignments to be more comprehensive. Completing assignments, pay attention to this, please. Completing assignments, grading papers, making corrections, and giving legitimate grade percentages is essential and the responsibility of the students. These things are necessary to perform at a high level. Perfect practice and personal accountability is necessary in preparing for and excelling on exams and quizzes. As a result, a student will receive a high grade in the course. All right, going down to the notebook. I talked about this last week. You're required to have a 3-ring binder. I went over this extensively last week with the section dividers. And so you can watch the last week's video if you need that. The exams, the type of exams will be a combination of multiple choice, true, false, short answer. It's imperative that you attend class, complete assignments, prepare for and perform well on exams, since they are 60% of your grade. All right, the grading policy, here it is. So this is what I was telling you. The assignments are only 20%. The exams are what I'm concerned about, 60% of your grade. The interactive work will help you prepare for the exams as far as how to put things in the computer correctly. So don't worry about that. We'll be going through the interactive textbook so you know how to write in answers for the online exams. And I'll show you practice problems to prepare for the exams online. There's the grade breakdown. Here's the class meetings. Students are required to attend class meetings 3 times a week. And for you guys, it's what, Tuesday and Friday and Wednesday? Lessons can be viewed on my YouTube channel. For extenuating circumstances, you can't just miss class, like I said, or if you'd like to watch the lesson again. Unless there's an extenuating circumstance, you're not supposed to be, just watching the YouTube recordings. If there is an extenuating circumstance where a student must miss a class meeting, this must be discussed with the teacher in regards to attendance. Okay, there are workshop and office hours. Workshops are just where we work together, work out problems, and just spend time working on it. It's more lax. Attendance, I'm taking attendance. I'm marking you present. If you're here, yeah, you can mark yourself. I understand this. You can mark yourself present and go play Xbox and be gone the whole meeting. That's a good way to fail. So I'm just letting you know. You need to be present. That's how you're going to do best in this class. But you're a teenager. I mean, you could do whatever you want, but life is all about making good decisions. So hopefully you'll be making good decisions and you'll be successful in the class. There is a correlation between not attending class and failing. So I'm just letting you know, it's essential that you attend class. If you don't want to, that's your choice, but I can't guarantee you're gonna pass the class. You want to be honest with stuff. Honesty is the best policy. Technical difficulties or anything else, here's the helpdesk.cjusd.net. Like I said, if you're having difficulty, contact me. Maybe I can fix it, but the help desk can help out. And here you go. There's your verification letter. It is due on Wednesday at 11:59. Do not turn it in late. You can write it on a sheet of paper. You can take a picture of it and sign it. You can print it out. You can use Cami. I don't care what you do. Just make sure this information is submitted to me by 11:59 on Wednesday evening. Okay, that is the syllabus. Thank you for your attention. All right, now let me stop sharing. There. All right, today what we're going to do is I have set up math wizard teams for you guys to work in groups of 4. Now, before we do this, I really want to kind of train you on working in groups. So I need you to pay attention. Lots of times, students do not work well in groups. And the reason why is because, first of all, you don't know the people in your group. A lot of you, especially honors, want to work by yourself. And I get all that, okay? The problem, so what we're trying to do, the goal today is the idea that 2 heads are better than 1, okay? So I want you to try to work together as much as possible. It's gonna be weird, but I want you to try to work together. So if you're fast worker, slow down. If you're slow, speed up. And those of you who are quiet and don't like to talk, I want you to practice talking. Okay, listen. If you work for a big computer company, you're going to have to work on teams. And it doesn't matter how intelligent you are. You have to be able to communicate your thoughts. Because if you're brilliant and you can't put your ideas into words, they're not going to want you. I'm just telling you. The biggest complaint with college graduates is that companies are saying that students cannot communicate effectively. So we're going to practice talking. Okay, so if you're quiet, I want you to practice talking. I want you're going to do the assignments like I specified. You're going to start on whichever page I put first. I don't know which page I put first in Google Classroom. I don't know if I put this one first or this one first. But you are going to work the assignment like I specified. And the way you're going to do it is this. You're going to go to Google Classroom and find Math Wizard Teams. After you do that, after you click on it, you're going to find your name and join the team. When you get into the team, you're going to introduce yourself and tell your team members what your favorite animal is in the whole world. Okay? Now, normally in the classroom at school, I do a thing where students get emails and phone numbers from everybody so that you guys can collaborate, because you're going to have to collaborate. Okay, I'm not a tutor, I'm a teacher, I'm willing to help, but if 50 people ask me to help, I'm not going to be able to do it throughout the week. So you have to get numbers, you have to get emails, and you have to get to know one another through these groups. in order to work with each other outside of class, because you're going to need each other. I'm just telling you, this may be the first time you had trouble in math. So when you go into these groups and you get to know people, make sure you get their phone numbers and emails so that you can work together outside of class. It's very important. Also, you want to, in your groups, you want to be able to share knowledge and ask questions. So make sure you ask questions and share knowledge and work as a true team. Okay, now there were some technical difficulties yesterday, but listen for this. If there's a question or problem that you have for me, send me a remind, say, we need help group 4, we need help group 3, and I will join your meeting and help you out. Make sure you leave the WebEx tab open, because I will come in and say, hey, you guys, go back to WebEx now for the general meeting. All right. Okay, so hopefully you got it. You're going to go to Google Classroom, click on Math Wizard Teams. You're going to join your team. I will, if you need help, Remind app and hit me up. Make sure you tell me the group. And before you do that, before we go, I'm going to do a couple of problems because I know you're going to ask me about these. Okay, so let me do a couple problems and then we'll spend most of the time working in groups. All right. This is the problem, the first problem on the dot sheet. Make sure you're writing all this stuff down. And they say the answer is 1. Okay, in algebra, we do not write math like this 100% of the time, pretty much. So before we start this problem, I want to talk about reducing. So let's say you have 48 divided by 56, pretend. If you want to reduce this, you would say, don't spend a lot of time thinking about it. Like, can we divide by 9? Can we divide by 4? I'm just going to divide by 2 because I don't know off the top of my head. Don't write it like this either. That's just incorrect. So teachers allowed you to do that. Don't do it. So I want you to write correct math. Make sure you're doing exactly what I'm doing. Now, I do not teach division. When I was getting my master's, one of the elementary school teachers, she said, well, we don't know how to teach division. How do you do it? I'm like, I don't do it. So students don't know division. I don't teach it. So let me show you what I do. I divide by multiplying. So watch this. 2 times what is 4? 2. 2 times what is 8? 4. 2 times what is 5 without going over like Price is Right. And the remainder goes there. 2 times what is 16? 8. And then I notice, oh, I could have divided by 4 on top and bottom. But I'm just showing you that it doesn't matter if you mess up. All right, so now I do notice that I could divide by 4. So I could have initially divided by 8. Okay, here we go again. We're going to divide by multiplying. 4 times what is 24? 6. 4 times what is 28? 7. I did not learn math this way, by the way. Okay, and you can even have big numbers, you know, like 124 over like, I don't know, 68. So I don't want to tax my brain thinking about this too much. I mean, I don't know if 4 goes into it. I'm just going to divide the top and bottom by 2. Okay, here we go. 2 times what is 12? 6. 2 times what is 4? 2. 2 times what is 6? 3. 2 times what is 8? 4. So now I think about the factors of 34 and I'm like, I don't want to think about it too hard. So I'm just going to divide by 2 again on the top and the bottom. 2 times what is 6? 3. 2 times what is 2? 1. 2 times what is 3 without going over? 1. Put the remainder there. 2 times what is 14? And 17 is prime. 17 does, 31 is not divisible by 7. They're both primes, so that would be your answer. And we leave it as an improper fraction. Do not convert anything to a decimal. I know on this page, they do convert to decimals, and you can for this assignment, but in this class, Algebra 2, we assume you can convert to decimals. We don't convert things to decimals unless It's a real life problem. So everything we do, we work with fractions in the class. Okay, now that was just a little review. So back to this. I wouldn't write it like this. I would write it like this. We are simplifying an expression. I'm not going to get a common denominator because I notice I can simplify these. So I'm going to divide the top by 3 and the bottom by 3. On this one, I can divide the top by 2 and the bottom by 2. So 3 times what is 3? 1. 3 times what is 6? 2. 2 times what is 2? 1. 2 times what is 4? 2. And remember, when you're adding fractions, you leave the common denominator and add the top, and anything divided by itself is 1. So this is a 4-step problem. Make sure you show your work. Make sure you write the original problem. Make sure you work vertically and circle your answers. And you're talking through all this with your group. I'm going to do one more.
Birch,
Yeah.
if we already did the problem, would we write it in the corrections?
Say that again.
So if we already did this problem, would we write the new one in the corrections?
You mean, did you already do this assignment?
Yeah.
Okay, what I want you to do today, since we're working in groups, I want you to just get another sheet of paper and just work it. It's not going to hurt you to work the problems again. Okay,
Right.
so just get another sheet of paper and work with your group. And then later on, if the problems that you did, if you did them the way I specified and everything else, you can take parts of them and put with your assignment. But just work with your group with starting from the beginning on a separate sheet of paper. All right, let me show you another problem. Now this is number 6. Look at this one. This is another weird one. This looks like a date. Don't write it like that. On this one, I'm not going to write it as a stack fraction either. I'm going to write it like this. And I'm going to follow the order of operations. So 6 divided by 6 is 1. And you can turn around and write this as 1 divided by 4. 3-step problem. All right, this problem, a lot of people got wrong yesterday, and I want to do it. It's number 10 on rules for integers. So people are tempted to add that. These parentheses are nested. So remember, I was saying if you have parentheses, you use square brackets, then you use curly brackets. So this is a square bracket 3, regular bracket 5 minus 3, close it. Close that, square. So according to the order of operations, you work from the inside out. Do not add that. If you add it, you're going to get the wrong answer. So this is going to be 3 times 2. Don't use dots. Use parentheses to mean multiply. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. We're still dealing with the parentheses, which is 6. That's being multiplied to the 4. Do not add these. This is times 36 following the order of operations. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Parentheses, exponents. Now we multiply. What is that? 144. Yeah, so this is tricky. Don't mess it up. You have to follow the order of operations, and this is a 5-step problem. If you do not follow the order of operations, you will get the wrong answer. All right. Okay, anybody want to ask me about anything? All right, you're going to go to Google Classroom then, and you're going to find Math Wizard teams and go to your team. If you need help, remember you're going to introduce yourself. Don't be afraid to talk. You're going to tell your team what your favorite animal is. And if you need help, don't forget to hit remind and tell me which group to come into, and I'll be happy to come in and help. All right? Okay, so go to those breakout groups and let's see how this goes. All right? I'll see you later.